Hello everyone. Welcome to Lify Life, how to avoid blossom end rot and late blight of tomatoes. One simple tip. Harvest time is coming. Tomatoes have already started, and in some regions, and especially in greenhouses, they have already grown to quite a decent size. A horticultural expert shared her key tip for growing tomatoes. In her opinion, in order to avoid rot and late blight, the main thing is to observe a strict watering regimen. Tomatoes love bright sunny places, but one of the really important things about tomatoes is that they hate irregular watering. Irregular watering can cause problems with the tomatoes themselves and with their roots. The appearance of fruits with cracks is also associated with irregular watering. Watering must be basal, try not to water the foliage. Plants can also get sick with a disease called vertex rot, which is associated with a potassium deficiency, so take care of fertilizers. Now is the perfect time to feed your tomatoes, and anything rich in potassium is good for fruits and flowers. It's also a good idea to trim the bottom leaves from tomatoes to prevent the spread of soil-borne diseases. You need to cut off all the leaves that touch the ground. How to defeat late blight in the garden. In the second half of summer, when the heat of the day gives way to the coolness of the night, late blight, brown rot, manifests itself. This disease annually takes up to 70% of the crop of potatoes and tomatoes. Its causative agent is the obligate fungus Phytophthora infestans, which has a complex biological cycle and an incredible ability to form virulent races. Sign of trouble. Among the diseases of tomatoes, perhaps, there is no other so infamous. No wonder the German botanist called the causative agent of late blight, the simplest microscopic fungus, an infectious plant eater. Most often, the disease manifests itself on the leaves of the lower tier, and then moves to the tops of the shoots. Brown spots are clearly visible on the foliage, covered on the underside with a white fluff, spores of the fungus. On the stems, late blight appears as dark brown stripes. In wet weather, the affected areas rot, in dry weather they dry out. Brown late blight spots appear on the fruits. Markings grow both in breadth and depth. Phytophthora mercilessly puts its signs not only on mature, but also on green tomatoes. Even more offensive is the fact that seemingly healthy tomatoes taken still get sick and turn black. Literally overnight, the entire crop can be destroyed. Juicy green leaves turn into dry brown mummies. We reveal the reasons. There are several reasons for the occurrence of Phytophthora. First, close proximity to potatoes. Both of these plants, as you know, belong to the nightshade family, and therefore they have the same elements. If Phytophthora has declared itself in a potato field, in a couple of weeks it will also occupy tomatoes. Therefore, be careful. You notice something is wrong, take action immediately. Also, do not plant tomatoes near eggplants and physalis. Secondly, the appearance of Phytophthora is facilitated by the thickening of the plantings, and hence the poor ventilation of the plants. Thirdly, sharp changes in night and day temperatures negatively affect. In July to August it is still hot during the day and cold at night. Timely protection. To limit the harmfulness of late blight, it is necessary to take timely protective measures. And not when the disease is already, as they say, at the gate. You need to think about the health of tomatoes as soon as the seeds are sown. 1.5 2 weeks before planting the seedlings in the ground, spray the seedlings with 1% Bordeaux liquid or fungicide. 15-20 days after planting, carry out another treatment of tomatoes with any contact systemic fungicide. The treatment of plants with growth regulators also gives good results. They increase the immunity of tomatoes and, accordingly, disease resistance. And henceforth it is necessary to monitor the health of plants. Under favorable conditions, the pathogenic fungus multiplies rapidly. At temperatures below +10 degrees and above +28-30, the disease practically does not develop. Therefore, if tomatoes grow in a greenhouse, periodically arrange a steam room for them. Only, of course, not during flowering. On a sunny day, close all windows and doors and keep it that way for several hours, and then ventilate well. Do not breed damp. Contributes to the development of Phytophthora and high humidity, so water the tomatoes only, under the root. Do not breed rot. Dampness can provoke an outbreak of Phytophthora and excess nitrogen. After the disease has already put its marks on the plant, it is very difficult to change the situation. While the tomatoes are green, they can be treated with fungicides that protect against late blight. But as soon as the fruits begin to turn brown, ripen, it is better to refuse chemistry. Switch to Bordeaux mixture, 1 time per week. It does not penetrate into plant sand, accordingly, does not enter the human body. The composition of copper-containing fungicides includes copper, so any treatment with such preparations for tomatoes is only beneficial. It is good to use a copper soap emulsion, 2 grams of copper sulfate and 200 grams of soap per 10 liters of water, copper sulfate with soda ash. Immune shield. The stronger the plant, the more difficult the disease to break it. To increase immunity, tomatoes should be periodically fed with phosphorus potassium fertilizers. In 10 liters of water, dissolve 2 tablespoons L. Superphosphate and 1 tablespoon L. Potassium sulfate. A mixture of iodine and potassium chloride is also effective, 40 drops of iodine and 30 grams of potassium chloride per 10 liters of water. Iodine solution destroys microbes and accelerates the ripening of fruits. You can also treat the plantings with a solution of iodine 3 times, with an interval of 5 days minus 10 milliliters per bucket of water. Spraying tomatoes with freshly prepared garlic infusion is very effective against late blight. 1.5 cups minced garlic, 1.5 grams potassium permanganate and 2 tablespoons L. Grated laundry soap, dissolve in 10 liters of water, stir, strain and process the bushes, spending 100 to 150 grams of the mixture on each. Such treatments are carried out at intervals of 15-18 days. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for our new content. Click the bell sign to stay in contact with updates from us. Hope seeing you back on Lify Life.